welcome in. And so some new things I wanted to kind of get out of the way before I dive into the call today. So there's a link. Let me write it in the chat so you can actually see it if I can chat. So it's just Tami, Tami dot doctorinfantino.com. No dot between the doctor and the Infantino. It's just Tami dot doctorinfantino.com. And that's where you can go to schedule a one-on-one with me. That's where you can go to fill out your check-in sheet, which I need every time you send me your journal pages. But you can also go there and fill out your journal pages if you prefer to do it online. Some people want to write it down on paper, like I would prefer to do it that way, but whatever way is easier. But the link for the check-in sheet is there, so you can book that there. And I'm going to send out an email on this tomorrow, but I need to make sure I understand it a little bit better. But I put it in the chat. So it's Tami, doctorinfantino.com. And so if you ever want to schedule your one-on-one with me, you can. So that includes you, Karen. You got
Okay.
this. If you're wanting to use one of your, because we were going to do once a month, but
Yeah.
maybe in the beginning, you might want to book something sooner. And that's the best way. And that way I just see
Okay.
my calendar. I hope. You might just probably be a good idea to shoot me a text or an email saying, hey, I scheduled with you on Thursday at 1 or whatever, if that's a case.
Okay.
So because someone else said they scheduled me and I don't see them on there. So I again appreciate all of your patience with me and us on these little transition times. Pat, I'm glad you made it here. We had some little hiccups trying to get the emails. Somebody else was having trouble getting emails. So I think now that we're better on a roll, I think it's going to be great. So, all right. With that being said, I will share the screen. Does anybody have any questions before I start or dig into this? Any wins you want to share for this week? Anybody lose any weight or come off some medications or something really good, fit into a new outfit or an old outfit, I should say?
Well, I wanted to make mention that I found a personal trainer. It's called the Exercise Coach.
Oh, wonderful.
It's local here.
They actually
take a
offered
lot
me
of
a job.
insurance, but they don't take mine.
Say that again?
They take a lot of insurance, but they don't take mine.
Oh, what a shame. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
Well, I got my first two free sessions, which I did the first one today. And I'll tell you what, this equipment, the newer equipment nowadays is like, what?
It's different than regular gym stuff. They did offer me a job. They weren't paying very well. So I just couldn't. I wanted to. It was right around the corner from my house. Right around the corner. But yeah,
it seems like a really nice program.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and it seemed like it might be pretty effective. So I'm all for that. So good for you. Yeah. And if anybody has any if you're ready to start your exercise portion after your first cleanse is when you start. If you're listening in and you're brand new. And if you're not sure where to start, use the Tami.doctorinfantino.com link to schedule an appointment with me, and I can go over the plan that we have, which is within the program. There's a whole course. It's in actually module 5. That's where you'll find the exercise portion. But anyways, all right. So I'm glad to hear that, Tani. That's great. Anybody else?
I went to my diabetic doctor yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
and my blood sugars A1C was down, not as much as I had hoped, but my doctor was thrilled with the fact that I had lost 30 pounds since I was there. And she was more excited about the fact that she said that I was 70% in the target area that they wanted me in. So they said that was a whole lot more than worrying about the A1C, she said.
Awesome.
That's wonderful. Thank
So
you
I
for
was excited. I'm excited about that. And she was excited to see me in 3 more months, she said.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's great. You mentioned that, what was it, yesterday? So I'm glad you were able to share that with us today. So thank you for that. Okay. Where's my, all right. So today, what we're going to talk about, we're going on a road trip. I like to do this usually in May, kick off May, because we got Memorial Day, well, Mother's Day is coming up, and we got Memorial Day, and that just, of course, kicks off the travel season for the summer. So, and at some point or another, we're going to be in an airport, we're going to be on a road trip, whether it's work or pleasure. So hopefully some of this information will be helpful for you. We got some shout outs, some welcomes, and some funnies. We'll talk about what to do before you go, what to do getting to your destination while you're there, portion control, fitness on the road, and finding balance while traveling. And then, of course, Q&A. So here's some funnies here. And I found this meme, back in the day when I was a little girl and we started flying. It was fancy. We got dressed up to go to the airport. And I just thought it was the best thing ever. I don't like airport. I love to travel. I'm a Sagittarius, love to travel. But I'm not a fan of the airports. I get anxiety. But this little meme on the left, where they bring you fancy foods and now they barely feed you and they throw a bag of Chex Mix at you and the way. And then, gosh, during COVID, they were actually mean to us. If you didn't have your mask all the way on while you're sleeping, they would wake you up. And, it's a lot of things have changed for sure. And then I just thought this guy with the matching luggage with the picture on it.
I love
it. No one's going to doubt which suitcase is yours. So there's that. We've got Trisha down. She's down 13 pounds. We've got Bill down 26 pounds. Karen just stated she's down 30 pounds. So congratulations to you. I've got Carrie down 17 pounds. So there's a lot of people losing some weight and getting some great, blood sugar numbers, blood pressure. Several people this week have told me they're lowered or removed some of their medications. So just stay the course, have faith. Everybody's a little different. So it may not happen as fast for you as it is for somebody else, but just trust in the process. And let's see. Can you send me a picture of the guy on the luggage? Oh, you want me to email you the picture? Okay. Let me write that down because I'll forget by the end. Okay. All right. Okay, so all right, so let's get started. I did hit record, right?
Yes.
When
Yes.
I go to my full screen, it doesn't show me it's recording, and that always scares me because I don't have time to repeat myself later this afternoon. I've got plenty to do this afternoon. So anyway, before you go, I will say, just like regular life, just like every week, week in, week out, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So get your meals, get your snacks, get all that stuff pre-cooked and pre-ordered and pre-prepared before you go. And we'll talk about what those things look like, but like these, and I'll go over some snacks later, but like these Mario snack olives, I saw them online. So get those things like a week before you go. Don't save it for a couple of days before you go because you're already scrambling with packing and trying to remember to bring whatever and get your tickets and check in the airport and pack your medicines and pack your stuff. And it's a little bit chaotic. So if you can do some of this pre-ordering your snacks ahead of time, Amazon is great for that. They really can. Or if you're going to go shopping, these pre-packaged snacks are great. There's pre-packaged tunas that you don't have to drain. They're specifically meant for travel or the packets. But you can make things like protein balls or the mini muffins or different things like that and just put them in the freezer. And once you're getting into your car or putting your stuff in your carry-on bag for your airport trip, airport food, it's 99% junk food, fast food, processed food, not fresh, and highly, highly expensive. It was like $20 for a salad that was basically in a cup. And I don't know when the hell they made it. Was it last week? Like, it's just so ridiculously expensive, and it's not going to be as good for you. There's different turkey jerkies, no sugar added, stuff like that. So prep your food or purchase your food, order your food, go shopping for your food. You can get all that stuff done a week ahead of time. And again, your food, if you prep it yourself, throw it in the freezer. And then when you're putting it into your ice chest, if you're going on a car trip, then it'll help keep your stuff cold just a little bit longer. Also, you can freeze water bottles to help, that way you have water for your road trip, but it's also helping keep stuff cold. As it starts to melt, then you can drink them. Don't freeze them all because you want some water that's not frozen. So there's that. So also before you go, do your research on Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use. But look at the restaurants. Put in the address of your Airbnb or your hotel or your grandma's house or whoever's house you're staying at, and put in restaurants near me or restaurants near whatever and see what comes up. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later as well. But if you can find, and also same with grocery stores near 123 Main Street, whatever it is. And this way you can figure out, how far, and most likely, and maybe, hopefully, you can even walk to them, which is something that you might want to do. It's a way to get exercise in when we're traveling. It's sometimes a little bit of a challenge to get all your exercise in. But if you're walking to the restaurant or walking to the grocery store and you've already have it mapped out, it's one less thing to stress about because you already know, oh, there's, an Italian restaurant right around the corner. And I Googled their menu and I saw a few things that I could totally order. And then, that way you have it all mapped out. If you see that there's even a little mini mart or some kind of grocery store that you can go shopping at, you can pick up a few things and see what you have available in advance. So if it's an Airbnb, likely you have a full kitchen, but do they have a toaster? Do they have a frying pan? Do they have an air fryer? What kind of utensils or cooking tools do they have? If it's a hotel, can they put a mini fridge in the room if there's not already one? Can you ask for a room with a mini fridge? Is there a microwave? What will be available to you in the rooms that you're staying at? So if you know this in advance, it will really help take some of the stress up. Travel can be very stressful. Trying to remember everything. You're trying to kind of herd cats if you're trying to travel with kids or seniors. It's hard enough to keep myself in order, much less try to drag my mother or a small child through an airport and stuff like that. So if we kind of check the box of already knowing what we have available, like microwaves or dishes or silverware or refrigerators in our hotel room, it's just one less thing to worry about. All right, so what can we bring? What can we order from Amazon? What can we prepare or have in advance? All right, so we've got protein bars. We've got Dang bars. I have a picture of the Epic bars here. They're Dang bars, Epic bars, Kirkland bars. Those are the ones Dr. Infantino likes. He likes the Kirkland, any of those except the peanut butter ones, because peanuts are not on the menu. Now, if you've done your first 12 weeks and you've reintroduced legumes and you have no problem with peanuts or legumes, then you could get a peanut butter one. That's perfectly fine. I think that's the lesser of most of the evils. Next week, we're going to be talking about, speaking of evils, we're going to be talking about sugars and glutens and dairies and why we have you off of them first 12 weeks. Nuts and nut butter packets, those are super handy. But nuts, you can make your own trail mix. You can go to Sprouts, and if you like walnuts and you like pecans and you like almonds or whatever nuts you like, you can buy them in bulk. So you could get the nuts you like. If you buy pre-packaged trail mix, a lot of times there's things with added sugars. Sometimes they have chocolate chips or M&Ms or, a lot of dried fruits, which are adding sugars to, if you're going to do dried fruit, make sure that's minimal because it's still fruit and it's still a sugar. Can you have dried fruit? Of course you can, but just remember, I love like dried apricots, but like a half apricot is one bite if it's dried. So it's a tendency to be able to overeat and eat too much in a single serving is easy to do if it's dried fruit. So making your own trail mix, you can control what's in it. Cutting up veggies like these baby carrots, that you can do in advance, a couple days in advance. Cucumbers don't last very long, so not those. Those you can make at home. If you make pre-cut cucumbers, eat those day 1 or day 2 because those go bad quickly. The carrots, the cut broccoli, the cut cauliflower, the cut bell peppers, those last a lot longer. In fact, I took a bag of the baby carrots on my way to Nashville to go visit my son. And then I ate some on the plane, but I forgot about them. And 2 or 3 days later, I found them in my bag and started noshing on them again, and they were perfectly fine. So they really don't need any refrigeration. Also, I should have brought it in so you could see it, but I bought the Holy Guacamole, little tiny packets. I found them at Costco. And those, I would say put a few of those in the freezer the day before you leave, and that way you can put it in your bag. So even if you're going on the airport, by the time it thaws out, you can sit and eat it at the airport. It won't be bad. If it's frozen and you add it to your ice chest for a road trip, again, it will just last a little bit longer. But I do keep those in the fridge. But that's a delicious dip, and it's in like a single serving size. So take advantage of those. Turkey jerky, make sure it's no sugar added or sugar free. Bring a refillable water bottle. That's helpful. You can't bring the water through the airport, but that's just a helpful way to make sure you're carrying around your water. And it's an easier way to track your water too. When we're on the road, we might forget to really hydrate, and it's really, really important, especially if you're going somewhere warm. Hard-boiled eggs are good. They're not going to last forever without refrigeration. And I've never frozen a hard-boiled egg, so I had no idea how that would turn out. Has anybody ever frozen a hard-boiled egg? But if you eat it sooner than later, if you eat it that day, I'm sure it would be fine. Oh, and those olive packets, just like I had on that previous page. But those are, again, things that you can pre-order. Get that pre-ordered in your kitchen or your overnight bag or your carry-on luggage. Get it in there now, and you don't have to worry about it. Tuna or salmon packets, great source of protein. And just pack a plastic fork. And when you're ready, open up the packet, eat it, and you throw them both away. So you don't have to worry about losing a fork or trying to remember to bring the fork home. Now these are made from Catalina flour. So this is not going to be in your first 12 weeks. And this particular flavor is chocolate peanut butter. So I'm kind of a sucker for peanut butter. So I did get these for my trip to, where did I go? Oh, Dallas, when I went to Dallas. This is not, it is super clean, but it's not terrible. This is, I would say, just for travel. I wouldn't consume this all the time. The ingredients are Catalina flour. Now, Catalina flour, cassava flour, almond flour, coconut flour, they're all a little bit processed. So if you're still in your first 12 weeks, we're not recommending those. But after 12 weeks, something like this, when you're on the road, this will come in better. This is better than a bag of chips. And it's sweet and crunchy. So again, better than a bag of chips on many levels. So, but it's got Catalina flour, it's got pea protein, corn fiber, chicory root, peanut oil. So it's sunflower oil, cocoa powder, peanuts, so it's okay, not terrible. And then this, but it travels really, really well and it'll last a long time. This one, this is basically a cereal, but you put it in a baggie and it's a protein. It's grain-free, high protein, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, wheat-free, naturally flavored, delicious, childlike cereal for grown-ups. I'm all about that for sure. So let's see, ingredients. Milk protein blend, so it's got casein protein, whey protein concentrate. It's got allulose and monk fruit as a sweetener. Oil blend, sunflower, avocado oil, tapioca starch. So in some little avocado, agave and cinnamon and salt. So this could be a snack once in a while after your first 12 weeks, but it also is great for traveling as well. And they're filling, they're really filling. You won't be hungry in the airport or whatever. You need what for your husband? The crunchies? Somebody in the chat said, I need that for my husband.
No.
All right, number 3, when you get there. Hello. Now, you've already done your homework. You already found the grocery store near you. You've already found the restaurants near you. And hopefully maybe even some excursions or different tours or things, depending on what kind of trip you're going on. But if you already have that pre-planned, again, it's taking a little bit of the stress off of that. But then you want to go to that grocery store as soon as possible so that you are not tempted to do all breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the restaurants. That can get really expensive. Again, your hotel or Airbnb, does it have a fridge, microwave, utensils? One of the things I was looking at, a girl brings her own cups and she would use that for a bowl. And she was using that to eat oatmeal out of. I mean, we're not eating oatmeal just yet, but that might be something. You might have to bring some things. If you did your homework before you left, you'll already have that information. Allulose, that is a sweetener, and that is, I believe it's a sugar alcohol, even though it doesn't end in TOL, but it is on program. It's a sweetener. That's what it is, but it should not raise your blood sugars. Also, and this is something you should really do in advance, but while you're there is take advantage of any farmers markets if there is one. A, it gets you outside. B, it's locally homegrown or locally grown stuff. So especially if you're in a foreign country or in a part of the country that you've never been, going there and talking with locals and you're likely organic stuff. You're going to get the foods that are local to that area. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be organic. You get to be outside, you're walking. It can be part of your experience on your trip. Why not? You got to go shopping for some stuff anyway. Why not have some fresh fruit and fresh vegetables? Hoping you can, be able to cook the vegetables. But if they're the kind you can just cut up and eat fresh, then do it. But again, you're walking through the farmers market. So those are a great way to connect with locals, get some sunshine, get some walking in, and get some fresh organic vegetables. So when you do go to your grocery store, when you get there, some things that you might consider getting are bags of greens, like the bags of chopped up romaine or the spring mix, those salmon or tuna packets, the pre-cut veggies. You can buy them pre-cut up in most grocery stores. You can go to a regular grocery store, maybe get a rotisserie chicken. That might be a way to skip a meal out and save a boatload of money. If you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner with a family, you're going to be spending several $100 a day. So if one of those meals can be, in the hotel or at your wherever you're staying, that'll be helpful. Costco has those pre-cooked brown rice bowls, and those are 3 servings. So you can bring those with you. You can bring food in the airport. You just can't bring liquids. So you might bring a bowl or 2 of those. You can buy pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs. If you're flying and you don't want to carry hard-boiled eggs, it's too many hours between A to B. A lot of places sell pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs, fresh fruits, nuts. Also, you can also get, and this is something, again, you might want to do prior, is Tea-Chino makes like tea bags. So rather than going to Starbucks for a cup of tea, they have those like little coffees. They're made with the mushrooms, they're made with herbs. There's no coffee in it, but it's a nice way to start the morning without spending $5 on a coffee or, that hot, warm cup of Joe that we like to have in the morning sometimes. And then Four Sigmatic also makes packets. Oh, and another thing you want to bring with you is you can put your shake in Ziploc baggies. But better yet, you can go to not grocery store. You can go to a health food store and they sell a lot of them. Blue Bonnet is one of my favorite brands in the store. And I know they have it because I sold them in my store, is packets of the protein powder. And that travels well. It's not going to spill out in your suitcase or in your overnight bag or in your carry-on bag. And then you can go to like a Starbucks and just ask them for a water in the airport, and now you have a protein shake, and that will serve a purpose right there. But pre-packeted packets of protein powder is a great source of protein. It travels well, but that's something you should get prior to going. So order those a week before you go. What else? All right, so tip number 4. How to manage your portion sizes when you're on the road. Obviously, you're not going to be bringing a scale. And if you're in your first 12 weeks, you really want to stay as close to the program as you possibly can. So here's some ways to tell. You don't have to carry anything. You have your hands with you at all times, hopefully. But I'm going to ask you to have 2 cups of vegetables at every meal. But that's about a cup. So when you're looking at the plate, what's it look like? The protein, it's just the palm, not the fingers, the palm. That would be about 3 ounces. So I would say go a little bit bigger than your palm of the chicken or fish or the seafood. I wouldn't be upset if your piece was a little bit bigger than that. The thumb is 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of fat. Fingertip is a teaspoon of oil. And then this is 2/3 cup of rice, which is too much rice. So I would say probably stick a little bit to what would look like 1 palmful. And we're not eating cheese, but if you're past your first 12 weeks and you are, this is plenty, guys. Cheese is very calorically dense and it's a saturated fat. We'll be talking a little bit about cheese next week, but Just FYI, just so you know, wanted to put this info out there for you. This is my favorite. This is my favorite part. So why do we go on vacation? For me, these pictures on the left, that's why, because I want to do those things. I mean, everybody goes for different reasons, but I am kind of an outdoorsy kind of girl, so this stuff does appeal to me. However, not everybody, I know. So, but keep in mind, if you're getting any movement while you're on vacation, you are not trying to get in shape. So don't feel like you have to do an hour of getting on a treadmill or whatever. You're just trying to stay in shape or just get some extra movement in. So don't worry about losing weight on vacation. Just get some movement so that you don't lose ground with what you've already been doing. YouTube videos are easy. You can get it right from your phone. That's really, really easy. You can put in there exercises with zero equipment. You can Google up a yoga and go sit on the beach or on that mountain or wherever you're at and do it outside if you're so inclined. When I go to a beach, that is my favorite thing to do is get up in the morning and do yoga on the beach. Love, love, love to do that. Meanwhile, I'm staring at the ocean or at the lake or at the water, whatever it is. So that in and of itself is peaceful. But if you're not sure what to do, you can just go to YouTube and put whatever kind of exercise you're in the mood to do. If you're doing a resistance bands, those things travel really, really well. They don't take up much room and they're not heavy. But you can go to YouTube and put exercise with resistance bands for a beginner, or if you're advanced, that in there. But as you can see, things like kayaking and paddle boarding and swimming and even like these ATVs, you're moving your body, you're using your muscles, you're using resistance. And those are the fun things to do. That's why we exercise, so that we have energy to do all those things. Another thing is walk outside. I'm thinking of like when we go to Vegas, we can drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, but to walk through, to walk down any city that you're in, where New York or California or anything in between, Las Vegas, when we're walking outside, we really get a sense of the history of the buildings or the newness of the buildings or the architecture of the buildings, or maybe it's the history, or maybe there's a story behind it. That's something else you could do in advance too, learn the history. When I went to Europe, I believe it's in Venice, they have what's called the Bridge of Sighs. And it's basically this bridge that goes over, and it's the courtroom and then the bridge. It's called the Bridge of Sighs because if you get guilty and you have to go to jail, that bridge just walks you straight from the court over that bridge into the jail. But it doesn't mean anything unless you know that. So learning a little bit of history. But if you're walking outside and you're exploring this stuff, A, you're walking, B, you're getting fresh air, C, you're getting some sunshine and vitamin D, and you're able to really see the history and the oldness of these kinds of buildings and so on, or the decor and how fancy it is, again, depending on where you're at. If you can take a bike tour or one of those, like they look like golf, I don't know what they're called. They look like golf carts, but you pedal them, stuff like that. If you ever go to Solvang, they have those, you can rent those. Or Catalina, I believe, rents those. Or maybe they're powered, but I think they're pedaled. But if you can find something a walking tour, a bike tour, if at all possible, or if you can, at least get off the bus as much as possible and get out and stretch. Like I said, biking, kayaks, ATVs, paddle boarding, use the pool. Oh, I think I said that last year. Use the pool. I used to, as a younger woman, I'd go to the pool, I'd get all my suntan lotion on and I'd lay there and get my suntan. And and a lot of times never even really go in the pool. I say go in the pool, and if you have kids with you, please go in the pool because you are building memories with them. And I have memories of my grandfather putting me on his shoulders, teaching me to do flips off his shoulders. And I will remember that as long as I live, and I'm already old, and I will never forget that. So it's important on so many levels, but get in that pool, even if you're just walking back and forth, you're getting a lot of resistance. You're going to get your heart rate up. You're going to use your muscles, and you're in the pool, and it's fun. Also, take the stairs. If you ever go on a cruise ship, well, I don't recommend that. Cruise ships and all-inclusive resorts are a dieter's, that's just the devil. It's just so tempting. Especially all inclusive, your alcohol is included, your desserts are included, your appetizers are included, your snacks are all included, everything's included. So we don't hesitate. Well, it's free, why not? It's free, why not? It's very dangerous because it's just way too easy to overeat. But on a cruise ship or a big, beautiful resort or hotel, use the stairs. If you're on the 20th floor, I'm not suggesting you take all 20 flights, but take 2 or 3, then the elevator, the rest. And maybe challenge yourself. Say, okay, I'm there 10 days. Okay, so day 1, I'm just going to climb up the stairs for 1 floor. Day 2, see if you can't do 2 floors, and see if you can't add a floor each day and see where you get. It just be a fun mental game to get you moving, but skip the elevator. There's so much. Some of these stairwells they're lined with artwork. So a lot of times you're missing out if you don't. Not to mention you're going to get extra leg works. Good for the booty, climbing those stairs. Ooh, this is another favorite part. Road trip tip number 6, and that is balance. So especially if they're all included, drinking your calories can add up. One shot of booze like vodka or rum or tequila is about 100 calories. So even if you're just mixing it with club soda, that's 100 calories, but you have 2 or 3 or 4. You haven't had anything to eat yet. Now you've added 2 or 3 or 400 more calories. Now, typically on these trips, we got the umbrella, and it's like a pina colada or Mai Tai or, I don't know, like a Kahlua or daiquiris, margaritas. Those suckers can be 500 calories each, and they're loaded with sugar. So be mindful. If you're going to have a cocktail or whatever, do the low sugar, do the booze with the club soda or water. Diet soda has the sucralose, which is bad for your gut, so I don't recommend that either. But the low sugar sparkling water is your best bet. But alternate. Do a whole glass of water before you go to another drink. You're still enjoying it, or it can even be bubble water, and throw a lemon or a lime or an orange in it. And it's lovely and it's refreshing and it looks festive. You could still put an umbrella in it. Doesn't have to have alcohol or sugar. Taking time to breathe and rest and meditation. You're here. I mean, if you're in this program, you know that we're trying to give your gut a break and a little vacation. There's a couple of cleanses that you go through. Your gut needs a vacation, but your brain, your heart and soul needs a vacation too. So don't beat yourself up for taking time to rest. Don't beat yourself up for taking time to go for a nap, taking time to do some breath work. If you are feeling anxiety in the airport, take some breath work. Count, breathe. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, and then hold that exhale for 5, and then do 6. Inhale for 6, hold that for 6, exhale for 6, hold that exhale for 6, and keep counting. It gets you present and it releases any anxiety. Meditation, my goodness, if you're going to a beautiful place, you're going to a beautiful mountaintop, you're going to a beautiful beach or a lake or a river, sit there and just enjoy the nature, listen to the birds, watch the butterflies. Close your eyes and dream about the things that you want to dream about. Think about things that make you feel good, but take time to do that. It will give your vacation a purpose. It will actually give it a result. You will come home feeling really good and amazing. This is probably the best piece of information too, is every night at the end of the day, recap what you did all day. My mom is the queen of this. And I remember when I went to Europe, I was 21 years old, and I did this, and it was so much fun. You know how expensive these trips are, right? And we spend months, usually, if it's a trip to Europe or something big deal, we spend months thinking about it because we sign up now and it's 6 months from now or a year from now. So we're thinking about it, we're enjoying the idea, we're anticipation. And we get there and we spend our 10 days or whatever it is on this vacation, and then we go home and we kind of forget about it. But if you recap in your journal every night, today's day one, we went to this restaurant, we ate this food, we took this tour, and we remember that time we fell out of the boat, we got wet, and we did the thing. My mom, we were in the lazy river, and my mom had a drink in her hand, and she fell into the water. And it was like the most funniest thing, and it was all inclusive. And I said, "Let me buy you another drink, Mom," as if I'm buying her a drink. But I mean, she wrote that in her journal, and we laugh about it every time we reread the journal. So in 3 months from now, you can look at all 10 days and you go, "Oh, that meal was so good. Oh my gosh, that thing, that falling out of on the lazy river was so funny. Oh my gosh, remember the bathroom there in Europe? I remember there was a bathroom. You basically have foot pads and you're supposed to pee." And as a woman, that doesn't really work. So, but that's how they had it set up. Of course, this was 40 years ago. Hopefully they have actual toilets by now, but recapping, and it's just a nice way to appreciate your day and be able to relive the details of your trip a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. So all right. All right, so that's just a good piece of advice. Oops. Oh, here's another good one. These are all my favorites, right? So treat yourself to a massage or a facial. You're taking care of you. This is your vacation time. We need to de-stress. Most of us have jobs. I know some of you are retired. Good for you. God bless you. Someday, I will, maybe someday. But get the massage, get the facial, get the body scrub, treat yourself. This is just another way to decompress and reminding ourselves that we deserve this and that we're worthy and that we are taking good care of ourselves. We want to take care of ourselves like we would take care of someone that we love, and we would give this to somebody else. Why shouldn't we give it to ourselves? Taking time to stretch. Stretching is so underrated. Stretching you can do anywhere. And you, by the way, you are working your muscles when you stretch. For me, I feel like yoga really changed my body of exercise modalities, TRX straps, the suspension training, but yoga really did a number on my body. I really saw some difference, but a lot of the yoga poses are not just strength poses, they're also stretch poses, and you're holding them for periods of time. So you're really bringing circulation to these joints and flexibility. You can do it in your hotel room. You can do it at an Airbnb. You can do it outside. You can do it on that beach or by the pool or on that mountain or wherever you are. But taking time to stretch. Also, when we stretch, we're also releasing the tension in the body. I mean, we have tension. We have, stress from work and bills and life, and bad things happened on the road or whatever. But a lot of this stress, sometimes it's stored in the muscles. So when we stretch, we're literally releasing some of that anxiety. So this is another way to take care of your body and release the stress at the same time. Oh, guess that's it. All right, so pay attention, guys. We have a new email address for me, coach at Dr. Infantino with no dot in between the doctor and the Infantino.com. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody going on any trips this summer?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Going out to San Diego for a couple weeks.
Ooh, nice. Are you driving?
No, I'm gonna fly.
Okay. Where are you?
I am down in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, yeah, then you're flying.
Yeah.
I thought you were here in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, because
No, no.
we could drive to San Diego pretty easily, probably 5, 6-ish hour drive, but for you it'd be a little longer. Wonderful. So hopefully some of this information is helpful. And if you're going to San Diego, there's beautiful beaches there, beautiful beaches. And you can do
I
some,
know, I can't wait.
oh, I'm a little jelly. Although I have to share, I am going to Hawaii this June, and I haven't been there in probably 15 years. So I will have some beautiful beaches too. Oh, and my
Oh, yeah.
sister going to my sister's house, and she's got a cold plunge. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit of that. I'm
I
scared.
love Hawaii. I want to go back.
Yeah, I'm going to Maui. So
Oh, beautiful.
yeah. And my sister's flying me out there primarily to get my 85-year-old mother through the airport. So I've got to fly to California, get my mom, stay at her house that night, and then in the morning, get her through the airport. And then my sister will pick us up in Hawaii. We'll have 9 days there. And then I'll get my mom home and then I'll come home. So I will
Awesome.
have a lot of airport time. So these snacks will come in really handy for me because they don't go bad.
Yeah,
So-
this was very helpful.
Oh, very good. Anybody have anything else? Any
I was
questions?
able today to buy the individual olive snacks in Walmart grocery store part.
Oh, that's good to know. And you're in Iowa where they have nothing.
Right.
Karen knows I was making fun of her because they don't have a sushi bar out there. I like just no sushi bar whatsoever. Nope. Like she lives in a hick town, but I'm just busting your chops.
I know. I did look there though for the stevia soda because I thought I would take some of that along maybe in a cooler just to have something different to drink, but they didn't have any there. So I'm gonna have to get that someplace else or not
Yeah,
this least.
yeah, yeah. Once you find it though, it's pretty yummy.
Yeah. And which ones did you say was your favorite? The grape and what else?
I like the creamy root beer. There's two root beers. They have a ginger root beer and a creamy root beer. I like the creamy. It's very vanilla-y. It's creamy. It's like a cream soda. I do like their cream soda. I honestly don't know the difference between the cream soda and the creamy. They're similar.
Okay.
What's good about them also is like even the grape soda, because I usually pour mine in a glass and it's clear. So it's not purple. The grape soda is not purple. The root beer is not brown. It's all clear. So you're not getting all those dyes. You don't need all those dyes. They're so bad for us. And America is probably one of the only countries left that allows some of these terrible dyes that are jacking up our kids because it's in everything they eat, the cereals and the candies and the drinks and all the stuff. So stay away from food dyes as much as you possibly can when you can.
Also, this is kind of off the subject, but why can't you drink coffee? What's the reason against coffee? And
Great question. Great question. So coffee is one of the most highly pesticided things that we as humans consume because it's grown in warm, dark, moist area. It's just so susceptible to insects and things. So they have to pesticide it a lot, But more importantly for us and for this group, coffee, decaf or regular, doesn't matter, is very acidic for the gut. very, very acidic for the
Okay,
gut.
that's it. Yeah.
And so that's why even decaf is not, it's no, you might as well have a cup of coffee and get a little bit of caffeine. There's nothing really wrong with caffeine. Caffeine is not your worst enemy. It can be good for you. It can help aid in weight loss. It can obviously perk you up a little bit. Now, if we're jacked up and having energy drinks and coffee all day, every day, your adrenals are going to be like this, and you won't have good sleep, which is why we have you off of any caffeine. When your adrenals are on overload, you might fall asleep fast, but you won't stay asleep for very long. So if you find yourself waking up a lot, you might have an adrenal issue. So that's another, we're this whole thing, we're trying to talk about vacations. Your body's getting a vacation while on this program. We're not consuming all those processed stuff. We're not consuming the coffees, not consuming the caffeines, not consuming the stuff that the body doesn't respond very well to, like dairy and gluten, and legumes and red meat and stuff like that. Anybody else? All right, well, I guess I will say stop recording.